What's going on, guys? So we're back here with our first film review. We're actually going to do 2 in 1 today. We're going to do The Batman, and we're going to do Morbius in the same video. We saw... Oh, actually, let me introduce us first. So my name is Kevin, and then we have here...
I'm Drew.
I'm Chris.
Yep, and so we are here with with a film review that we're going to talk about. We saw Morbius recently, probably like last week, is it right?
Thursday or Friday, yeah.
Thursday, Friday, yeah. And then we saw The Batman a little bit later, or a little bit earlier ago, but that was our actual second viewing of it.
Oh, yeah, you were there the first time. I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, but no, we saw Batman Monday, we saw Morbius Friday, so it was a bad film.
And then we had seen The Batman, like, a month or so prior, like, right when it came out. I think we saw it opening weekend, maybe?
Yeah, and we've been meaning to make this review for The Batman for a while, but I definitely think it'll be better now that we've had 2 viewings of The Batman.
Morbius, we don't need to.
Yeah, Morbius, we don't need to. Nobody needs to. I wouldn't torture anybody like that.
Not at all.
No offense, but definitely to take much offense to it.
It's all Jared Leto, though.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about him a little bit later.
The Batman.
Yeah, let's start off with The Batman. All right, guys. What did you guys think of The Batman? I thought it was a pretty good movie. You know, I thought it was definitely one of the better Batman movies out there. I thought a lot of great performances, a great solid story. You know, a good moral in the movie. Definitely well directed and stuff like that. But I thought definitely a different take on the Batman. Than most people are used to. You know, they're used to the crime fighting badass Batman, but this was definitely a more
detective.
Yeah, this was definitely a more detective story than the actual, action movies that people are used to with superheroes.
And so just to put things into perspective, this was Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves, I had just looked it up, and I forgot he did this, but he did like the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War of the Planet of the Apes, the original Cloverfield, those kinds of movies.
Oh, I actually didn't know that.
10 Cloverfield Lane, then the other Cloverfield, whatever that was.
He didn't do 10 Cloverfield. He didn't direct that.
I don't know.
He did that?
But it sounds like he has a lot of
no, he just was a producer or something on it.
Yeah, it sounds like he has some good history with like some pretty solid movies. Like I know the Planet of the Apes movies, at least the first one.
They're making more.
Pretty good.
He actually didn't do the first one.
Why does his
name
name
the original?
No, he didn't do Rise. He did Dawn and War.
Dawn and War, that's what I said. They're both on Hulu. I didn't actually realize that.
I think I saw Dawn, and Dawn was pretty good.
Yeah, Dawn's amazing.
So yeah, he has a pretty good, solid background. I actually didn't look into him before I watched it. I just knew it was a Batman movie. I knew I wanted to watch it. So, and I definitely, enjoyed the entire viewing of the movie. Yeah, I think a lot of people think it's a weird movie because it's not the typical superhero movie where people, like a superhero comes into a town, fights crime, beats everybody up, and then saves the day. It's not that.
It was pretty minimal in the action department. It was mostly, like I said, detective-y, puzzle solving. It was pretty slow.
Well, despite the movie being more grounded than most Batman movies, it was still kind of comical, like unrealistic. Like the whole car chasing between Batman and the Penguin was like extremely unrealistic. But I still bought it because it's Batman.
There were those like one-liners too, where like. And I'm gonna spoil alert because I'm sure we'll talk about points in the movie.
Yeah, we can talk about it now. Like it's spoiler alert. I'll put a little spoiler alert at the beginning of the audio podcast. But this is a couple weeks after the Batman came out, so if you haven't seen it, definitely go take a look. It'll be on HBO Max. No. You're not stupid.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, but
it'll be on HBO Max April 19th. Either watch it now or wait.
That's next week. No, the week after.
Yeah, the week after next week.
But like there was definitely like the comical like when they're when after the guy gets blown up and then Batman wakes up in the police station, and Jim Gordon's like, just give us a minute, and then he's like, all right, you got 2 minutes or whatever he says, and Jim Gordon's like, hit me. Take these keys and then leave, and he punches him, obviously hard because it's Batman. And then later they meet on the roof. He's like, "You could have pulled your punch, and he's like, "I did."
He's like, I did. Yeah,
it's like that. That's like that. That really like Batman's always had that very like dry like sense of like humor that like.
Yeah, I think it was definitely comedy. There was a running joke that I thought was funny, was the whole like, "Hey, vengeance" thing. Where,
Yeah.
At the beginning, he's like, "I'm vengeance," and then everybody else afterwards is like, "Hey, vengeance, what's going on?"
And he
Vengeance?"
kind of would just look at them.
Yeah, they just try to like casually call him vengeance.
Also, every time he went to the Iceberg Lounge, it like he would change how he got in.
Mm-hmm.
The first time he showed up just as Batman, and he kind of beat the two guards up to get in, and then the second time it was just like Bruce Wayne, and they just kind of looked at them and they're like, they let him in, and then the third time he showed up as Batman again, but he was like tired of like that, so he like knocked on the door, and when they opened it, he wasn't there, and then you just see him behind them.
He was in the Batman suit at that time.
Oh no, he just had the he had all the like.
Yeah, he was in like a hoodie and like the makeup. But
that's right. But he snuck in that time instead of just like, hey, let me in.
Yeah,
because he was just like, I'm done.
Yeah, it was interesting how he got in there 3 times as 3 different
like 3 different ways.
Yeah, I think it was cool to see. I thought Robert Pattinson was really solid.
He's really surprised me.
Yeah. What are some things that you guys liked about the movie? What were some things that you thought were really didn't work? You
go first.
Yeah, you want to go first?
I'll get the negative. I guess I do think it could have. I get the whole length thing. They wanted it to. It's very noir, and noir movies are traditionally on the longer side. Especially the detective movies. I do think it could have been a little shorter. I don't know how much shorter I would have said, but I definitely think it kind of was on the... Was it 2 hours, 56 minutes?
Yeah, somewhere on the 3 hour mark.
Yeah, like I said, I think it could have been a little shorter. I don't know how much shorter I would say I think it could have been. I just do think it could have been shorter. Yeah. I mean, I didn't have... That wasn't like a big... It didn't bother me that much, but I was like, yeah, probably could have been.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, first 2 acts of the movie, I thought really great pacing. I was, really digging it, felt like a trip in the world. By the time the third act came, and it just kept getting longer and longer, it kind of like the pacing kind of was just distracting. Yeah, by that point,
I remember sitting in the theater both times in like the first 2 acts, and then I kind of like looked at my watch and I was like, "Wow, it's already been X amount of time," and then that third act just drags.
I wouldn't say it drags.
Not drag. I don't mean that.
It starts to feel long.
I don't mean that in a bad way either. I want to be clear, because a lot of times when people say, "Oh, this drags," it was like,
yeah, it didn't.
I don't mean that in a bad way.
It didn't drag, but it definitely felt like it should have already
slowed down.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't even say it slowed down. I think there was a few parts in the movie where people probably thought it should have ended. And, like, it just kept, like, psyching them out, saying, like, oh, it's going to end here. Nope, it's not going to end here. And then it just kept doing that over and over.
They added the whole... I mean, I get, like, they started doing, like, side stuff with Catwoman, too. Her whole thing with Carmine Falcone, because that was her father, so...
Well, it ended up tying into the Batman stuff.
It did, but they added that. I didn't really know that they were going to add that in originally.
Yeah.
What about you?
For likes, I mean, I thought on technical level, the movie was fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, like in our Oscars podcast, we were talking about cinematography is great. I mean, Grieg, whatever his name is, Grieg, the one who won the cinematography for Dune, did the cinematography for the Batman.
Let me look that up.
I would love to see him get nominated for this too.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that. One thing I think I'll say on the dislike side is I would have definitely liked to see, and it's going to sound a little bit weird, but
Greg Fraser.
I would have definitely see Greg Fraser.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Gotcha. Interesting. I would have definitely liked to see more of Paul Dano's face. I liked him as the Riddler, but I would like to see him more as, like, him.
It was mostly in the diner scene, which is the one they kept, like, the diner scene was the one that in their marketing that they kept showing off and they kept putting online, and and whenever Paul Dano would do late night, that was the one they would show, because they didn't want to show anything.
Yeah, and Paul Dano is just so good at being, like, just being crazy, being cold, and when he talks, he's just very methodical, and he played the Riddler great in those, like, 10 minutes that he was him.
So the man, under his costume, wrapped himself in plastic wrap.
Yeah.
That was his idea.
Yeah, because he was saying something about, like, what's the best way to keep DNA off of a crime scene? You just wrap yourself in plastic wrap so then your hair gets out.
And I don't know if you noticed, but the glasses he had on, the plasticky ones, I think they looked really similar to the glasses that Jim Carrey wore.
Yeah,
They were like the same. And I think that was like a little Easter egg or homage to the.
Yeah, that was definitely cool. But I thought, I like Paul Dano. I really like Paul Dano. He's really good.
Yeah, well, one of the first times I saw him was Swiss Army Man. Or one of the first times I really kind of took notice of him, at least. Mm-hmm. I was like, wow, this guy's good.
First time I noticed him was Prisoners.
So was that Prison?
With Hugh Jackman?
Yeah, Hugh Jackman,
And then he was in 12 Years a Slave.
Was he in that? Who was he in 12 Years a Slave?
He was the racist guy.
I haven't seen that movie since it came out. I don't...
He was the racist, man.
There was a lot of them in there.
He was like the super racist one.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't Michael Fassbender in that movie as another racist?
He was another racist.
Yeah. Was he the racist one? I forget. Michael Fassbender. I thought he was protecting him.
Am I just thinking of... I almost said Christoph Waltz. I'm thinking Django Unchained, too.
He wasn't racist in Django.
No, Christoph Waltz wasn't. You said protecting him, and I just went Christoph Waltz.
Sure. We're getting off topic.
Anyways,
Paul Dano's great. I remember watching him in Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's so good.
Yeah, he's just great. And I would love to see more of him. Like, I love seeing the Riddler as, the Riddler being in that mask and stuff like that, doing, like, the crazy shit. But I would like to see more of Paul Dano's face. Like, more of the person behind the mask rather than the mask with the mask
behind the person.
Exactly. Like, I would love to see him, like, face-to-face.
Oh, he was creepy, though.
Although I feel like if they bring him back... Because now that he's already been arrested and been exposed, he has no reason to hide himself. Yeah. So I feel like if he comes back, they'll get a more traditional Riddler costume for him.
Yeah, definitely. They'll probably give him a suit with maybe a bowler hat.
You think he's gonna get the cane?
I don't know if he'll get the cane.
You think he's gonna
realistic?
I was gonna say I don't think he's gonna start being all goofy or
I think if he gets a cane,
riddle me this, Batman.
He might get a cane. I don't know if it'll be like the whole question mark cane.
No, I don't. It might just be like one of those the gold top.
Maybe they'll be realistic and he has to have a cane because how much Batman beat him up.
Exactly.
No, Batman didn't even touch him.
Or maybe he had like an accident or he got beat up in prison or something like that.
Can we just really quick, I don't know how much you want to talk about this, but the Joker stuff. Barry Keoghan or Keo, I don't know how you say his name.
Barry, I think it's Keoghan or Keo.
Keo.
The guy from Eternals. He plays.
He plays.
I forgot his name in Eternals, but he plays the guy who can not control people's minds.
Yeah, not Sprite. Sprite was the kid.
Yeah, Sprite was the one who could turn into other people.
But they kind of teased him at the very end of the movie, when Paul Dano goes to was he was in Arkham, right, or was he in Blackgate?
Arkham, yeah.
He was in Arkham. Okay. They kind of teased, and you weren't really sure who it was at first, and then he said something about, everyone thinks you're a clown, and you went, oh. And then he kind of goes like this, and he does the laugh. But then after the movie came out, like a week or so after, they released a deleted scene that they filmed where Batman, interrogates Joker. And to me, this Joker looks like a Joker who actually fell in a vat of acid or got some kind of chemical burn. Like his skin was all bubbly, or not bubbly, it was scarred.
Yeah.
His teeth were all sorts of messed up.
Well, see, I don't think he's interrogating him very much.
He was asking him for information.
I think he's I think Drew said this before, he's more of a Hannibal Lecter type.
Yeah.
Where he's sort of giving Batman information on how to catch these criminals, which is interesting. And when I first saw the movie, and I thought, oh man, they're making another Joker. They already have too many Jokers in the last few years. Heath Ledger, Jared Leto, they have Joaquin Phoenix, now this guy. I wasn't excited for... I wasn't excited for a new Joker.
Honestly, I'm really interested.
Yeah, and now if they keep him to this small role of a Hannibal Lecter type trying to find another criminal, I think it'll be interesting.
Do you think...
Yeah. And then maybe give him his own villain role in the third or fourth movie,
exactly.
Do you think they might lead up to a whole the death of the family thing when he would cut off he cut off his face and then he would stapled it back on?
Probably not.
I don't know. That might be...
That'll be too dark.
Although I think that might be because the city floods. Maybe it's going to be a no man's land.
I think the sequel will probably be No Man's Land.
Well, I think the Penguin show's going to be No Man's Land.
Oh, yeah. So the show might be...
I forgot about that.
And the sequel will be something, another story.
The Penguin.
The Penguin was great.
Colin Farrell.
Do you guys want to start talking about like the characters?
Yeah.
What we thought about them?
Yeah, the Penguin. Oh, Jim Gordon was that. We can go to the Penguin first because
Yeah,
that was a good
'Cause out of all the
segue.
performers, I thought he was the best.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I'll say, one of the things I thought when I first, even before the movie came out, when I heard Colin Farrell was playing the Penguin and Andy Serkis was playing Alfred, I thought it was backwards. I thought they should have been, because Andy Serkis is great at playing those like creepy looking dudes, and like, the way he played Claw and Penguin are basically like the same character, except Claw is more, like
sadistic
and sadistic. Yeah, but I was like, man, I think Andy Serkis would be great as the Penguin, or even like one of those villains.
The Penguin doesn't really like he's a criminal, but he doesn't really like to kill himself.
Yeah, but
Claw was all about that.
Yeah, but I think that definitely they did great in their own roles. Andy Serkis was a good Alfred, and I think Colin Farrell really hit it off as the Penguin.
They always do that, I think, with the relationship between Alfred and Bruce Wayne. Because his parents died, that whole father-son relationship. Even in this movie, there was even a scene where I think I don't remember what Alfred was saying to him, but he was like, "You're not my dad." And then he like stormed off, and I went, "Oh, God."
Yeah, I guess going to that, one thing I really didn't like upon my second viewing was the way Bruce Wayne treated Alfred.
Yeah, I didn't but until he was like almost blown up, right?
I felt like it was way too mean-spirited. I mean, I get that this Bruce Wayne's more broody and dark, but
it was a very they think
Alfred
Kurt
raised
Cobain.
him after his parents were killed.
Well, he explained that to him later, and then I think he understood, and he felt really bad about that.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of... Yeah, it definitely felt like Bruce Wayne was acting a lot like...
Oh, yeah, this was supposed to be like a really young Batman. It was like supposed to be in his second year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just forgot. I remember that.
Yeah, it definitely felt like Bruce Wayne was a teenager, sort of hiding in his room, being angry at the world.
Like wearing the makeup.
Yeah.
Like, to be rebellious.
Mom. Yeah, that kind of thing.
He was probably his mid or late 20s at this point.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me.
Yeah. But speaking of which, Batman. We have a new Batman. I think he hit it off. I think he did really well.
Rob Pattinson. You said we have a new Batman. I went already. I was gonna go already.
No, no, just Robert Pattinson's Batman.
Yeah,
What'd you guys think?
Sorry, if you want to go first.
No, it's fine.
I feel like I keep going first, so it's okay.
All right. Well, I really like Rob Pattinson's Batman. He was definitely a much better Batman than he was a Bruce Wayne. But I think we've talked about how I think it's kind of intentional how this Batman doesn't really know how to be Bruce Wayne yet, because Bruce Wayne's real personality is Batman, and he's always been Bruce Wayne to cover up the fact that he's Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because he's so young, only in his second year, he hasn't figured out how to cover himself up yet. And this movie get kind of a few glimpses of how he could do that, specifically with the Iceberg Lounge, where he had to sneak his way in there. They didn't want Batman in there, so he disguised himself by being Bruce Wayne. And I feel like he's going to be taking more advantage of his Bruce Wayne persona more as the movie goes on.
Which would be a different take on that, I think, than they normally do. Because I'll think most things focus on Batman. This is Batman. We have to focus on that.
Not really.
Yeah. Well, I think most movies show like the balance between Batman.
Maybe I'm thinking of the comics and TV show more.
Maybe, yeah, definitely.
Well, the animated series is mostly focused on the Batman.
Like you're saying, most movies either have a nice balance of Bruce Wayne to Batman, or it's a little bit more Bruce Wayne than Batman.
I do definitely. I think I know in the beginning, he was doing that narration, and they were like the criminals would drop something and they kind of would look in the shadows. I thought that was a cool thing, but like the specific I'm talking about when he talks about that, it was like Halloween or something. I think he said, and he said most people are out partying. He said something about how, but he's patrolling the streets because he's become such a night owl, and he's saying how like he never sleeps anymore, and he's just you look at him and you're like, this guy is just so tired. And but he's so set on this, vengeance. I'd say vengeance more than revenge, but I guess that's kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
But he's so set on it, so focused, that he's he kind of doesn't have the time in his life for anything else. He kind of puts everything else to the side. And we were talking about Alfred, he does that with Alfred. He pushes him to the side. He becomes really
yeah.
I don't want to deal with you now. I'm dealing with this because this is more important to me than family, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think, like I said when we watched the movie the second time, or I think I said it the first time too, was that beginning narration definitely set up how he was in the beginning of the movie. Yeah, and then the ending ones kind of set up how he changed throughout the movie.
Oh, because there was a juxtaposition in it.
Yeah, because he was in the beginning. He's sort of trying to be this really dark, scary figure for all the criminals, and he's also scaring all of the like regular citizens of Gotham. But throughout the movie, he realizes he needs to be not just a shadowy figure for the villains, but also a hope, like a light of hope for the citizens too.
So instead of that scary figure, he needs to be more hopeful. Exactly. Like, well, mix of both, I guess.
Yeah, and that's why I really like the ending, which was like, he failed at being a scary figure, and now Gotham is flooded. He knows now that he needs to be that beam of light in order to help them, and so that's why he started helping people throughout the arena and stuff like that. And another thing I liked about this Batman, and I didn't realize until my second viewing, a lot of his stuff is like, really DIY type gadgets.
Yeah, like the gliding suit.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of like high tech, rich person.
No, he like pushed something or he like pulled something on a suit and he.
Yeah, but even that, like if you look, his Batcave is just a warehouse.
It literally, and the car's up on like a. Oh, and it kept changing too.
Yeah,
he did like the motorcycle, then like the car, and then he did like the car with like the engine on the jet on the back.
Yeah, and then like. Yeah, the car with the engine on the back. Like, it's not an actual Batmobile.
It doesn't have guns or anything. It's not...
Yeah.
That's it. I think the most high-tech thing he had were those contact lenses.
Oh, that was cool!
Which were distracting me because, like, when they played the video, I expected the screen to go dark every time he blinked, but no. It's almost like he kept his eyes on the whole time without blinking.
That was impressive. Keeping his eyes on the whole time.
Yeah, right. Well, his eyes were, like, red when he took them out, so I'm like, Jesus...
But even like the computers that he was looking at the video on, it looked like things that he built himself. Like it wasn't really anything.
He built his own PC.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly. It wasn't like the Nolan Batman where everything in the Batcave is like a brand new computer.
Yeah, or he has like Lucius Fox. I wonder if they're gonna bring Lucius Fox in at some point. By the way,
I don't know. Was Lucius Fox in the comics? Because I've only ever seen
Lucius was. He was in the games. He was in the comics, and he was in the Nolan stuff.
So maybe they will.
Was he in the original Batman, like Tim Burton stuff too, or no?
I don't think so.
I don't think no, because Tim Burton did what? Did he do 2 movies or one?
He did 2.
What was the second one?
Batman Returns.
It was Batman and
who did Forever? And...
Joel Schumacher did Forever.
Oh God! Oh
because
God!
They got rid of Tim Burton because Batman Returns was too dark for children, so they brought Joel Schumacher.
Wait, so Tim Burton did Batman Returns and Batman?
Batman, yeah.
Yeah.
Just real quick in the beginning again, we were talking about like when those like thugs or goons or whatever you want to call them were like beating up that man on the subway when he got out, and you just start hearing the boom, 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 and you just slowly see him walking out shadows. Like that's his boots doing that, and I think that's ultimately more terrifying than him just dropping into the shadows because you're just like, what is that?
Yeah, I think
because you're just like the tension it builds.
Yeah, I think they're two different types of fearful entrances, Well, because falling in on them is kind of like oh my god.
Well, that's the very Arkham-y games. Like if you played the Arkham games, it's all about a lot of it's stealth. And
I love the Arkham.
This he just kind of just comes in really like in a very intimidating way.
Yeah,
which I think is probably more terrifying than.
I feel it. Do you have any thoughts on Batman, Drew?
For Batman, no, I don't think you have any other thoughts. Like I said, I thought he was really good for what he was.
Jim Gordon?
Jim Gordon was good.
Jeffrey Wright's great, though.
Yeah.
He's perfect casting for Jim Gordon.
Yeah, he was. He's really good at being, like, the good guy. Like, the good guy.
Like, really rooting for Batman, even though everyone else is against him. But he's kind of on the edge of, like, do I really want to... Because do I want to risk my reputation for him?
Definitely. I don't really have a lot to say about Jim Gordon.
I just like Jeffrey Wright.
I just thought it was really
Jeffrey Wright's great.
Yeah, he is.
I guess Catwoman, then?
Yeah, Catwoman. What did you guys
think
about Zoe
Kravitz? I really liked her. I didn't know how much I was going to like her. I was kind of like... Because I haven't really seen her in other things. I know she's in a show. I don't remember what it's called, but it's at a record store.
No idea.
It came out like a few years ago.
She came out with that new movie called Kimi.
Oh, Kimi. I haven't seen that yet. Is that about she's like agoraphobic or something?
Yeah, she's like afraid of like germs and everything.
And going outside.
And then COVID happens, so that scares her even more.
I still need to see that. I think it's on like Hulu or something, right?
It's on HBO.
HBO, okay, I can watch it. But yeah, no, she surprised me.
Yeah.
I know. At first I was like, oh, maybe they just picked her because of her name, because I know she's Lenny Kravitz's daughter. So I was like, oh, maybe they. But she was good.
Yeah, and I thought it was a different take on the Who played her in the Tim Burton movies again?
Michelle
Pfeiffer, and then you had the Halle Berry,
Anne
Hathaway.
They were all very like sexualized.
Well, Anne Hathaway was a little less than the other two, but still kind of.
Anne Hathaway was definitely a very sexualized.
Yeah, and Anne Hathaway's dialogue alone.
Oh, you know what? I haven't seen those in a while, but yeah, I don't. Now that I'm thinking of it,
but this one was more like, of course, I know people are probably gonna say she was sexualized because of what she did for a living, like being the waitress where she.
Well, she was undercover doing that.
Yeah, exactly, but she was also very vulnerable with the whole Anna story when she was trying to like find out who she was. Well,
I was trying to figure that out too. Like, so that girl, were they like girlfriends?
I think so.
But like,
I couldn't tell.
Besides that, I don't really know who she was to her.
Because if they were girlfriends, she kind of like dropped her pretty quickly.
And she kept calling her a kid. So I was like, oh.
Yeah, I thought they were just friends. Like I thought that she was someone that Kevin felt bad for.
She's like, I gotta find that kid, and then she would call her baby, and I was like, what?
Yeah, it was definitely hard to distinguish the relationship between them. But
so I don't know who she really was to her. Mm-hmm. Obviously, she was very protective of her, but it wasn't really. I wasn't clear. I think that's another negative or complaint thing I have with the movie was I wasn't clear on that. Other than it was just a plot point to help move the story along.
Yeah, and then I also thought her outfit as like just a cat burglar.
Oh, with the
literally just like the ski mask, the black suit, and then the small cat ears. That was it. Like it wasn't really like a sexy cat outfit.
I kind of hated the ski masks though. I mean, the rest of the costume was cool, and then the ski mask just looked too cheap.
Who besides Zoe Kravitz, what Catwoman costume did you like?
I don't really like any of them. Michelle Pfeiffer I thought sucked.
I didn't like the patchy, the very patchy one.
Yeah, I think the best one is probably the one from. I like the one from Arkham City where she has like the goggles that she can.
Oh yeah. She's like and like the pilot's like or the cap.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I will say though, if we're talking about costumes, I thought Robert Pattinson's head was way too big for that helmet.
Yeah,
it like went up to it like covered here, and that was
everyone's helmet was weird in this movie. Riddler's had a weird helmet.
Yeah, everybody's helmets were weird in this movie.
Well, who else wore it?
Well, it was just. I think it was just those three. It was the Riddler, Batman, and Catwoman.
Did we talk about Penguin?
Yeah. We did right at the beginning. Technical aspects or like thoughts on the directing. What did you guys think?
Like I said, the technical aspects, thought it was great. Love the sound, love the cinematography. Matt Reeves is great directing. Pretty much wonderful film.
I think they utilized probably one of the best Nirvana songs, Something in the Way. I do think that's one of their best songs. I really like that song. I've become more of a Nirvana fan in the past like year or two than I was before, or than I was when I was younger. Mm-hmm. And they did say that this, they did say that this, Batman or this Bruce Wayne was, I was gonna call him John Wayne for some reason. This Bruce Wayne was kind of like took a lot of inspiration from Kurt Cobain.
Yeah,
and you could see that.
Yeah, I can see that. I think
that's what Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves said. Matt Reeves said he took a lot of inspiration from like Kurt Cobain.
I feel like it was nothing like Kurt Cobain,
except the moody.
He felt like what people think Kurt Cobain is.
I don't really know too much about Kurt Cobain. I only know like one Nirvana song, which is the one everybody knows.
Yeah,
like Teen Experience.
Yeah, which I mean,
did you not know Something in the Way?
No, I didn't know.
That's good. I knew that song before.
I'll check it out.
I'm not saying anything bad about Matt Reeves or Robert Pattinson's performance. I just didn't see the Kurt Cobain in it.
Yeah. Well, who picks like the songs for a movie? Is it the director?
They could.
It could be the director. It could be they could just hire like somebody who
like watch it and be like, oh, this song would be good here.
Yeah, it could be like a soundtrack director or something like that.
Since Matt Reeves is saying he wanted to do the Kurt Cobain influence,
it might have been him.
He chose that song.
Yeah.
I do think the score was cool too.
Yeah,
it was definitely nice to listen to.
It's just two notes too, but it's so satisfying.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I would. Oh, sorry.
Oh no.
I was just thinking the other day about how if you've been to like Universal Studios, like theme parks or Six Flags, they'll play like the Batman theme song in the background. I would love to just see the Matt Reeves Batman theme song just playing as I'm walking through like Universal or Six Flags.
Definitely, yeah. Definitely.
Like waiting in line for the Batman ride. Just hearing that song.
Just hearing that song.
He just,
man, I'd be terrified by
I'm vengeance. You just hear his boots. And they have like
before it takes off, it's like I'm vengeance.
And it's just like a surround thing, so you're just like, where's that coming from?
Yeah, that'd be cool though. Yeah. What do you guys think about like the story of the thing? I know I thought
it was different.
Yeah, I thought it was different. For those who are watching it thinking that it's going to be like a regular action movie, it's not. It's definitely more of a detective noir.
Like noir, yeah.
Yeah, slow burn.
Yeah,
detective.
very slow burn. Lots to think about, lots of clues to pick up on.
I really liked it. I think, at least for me, I have a hard time watching these movies late at night because I will fall asleep. Mm-hmm. I think I did fall asleep for like a few minutes when I saw it the first time. At one point, I don't know. But then I was able to stay awake the second time. But I think it was like right near the end I fell asleep because I remember watching it the second time going, I don't remember this part. So I think that's when I was like, oh, did I fall asleep the first time? Because it was near the end when they're in that like building and it's like flooded and we were watching and I was like, I don't remember this.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I fell asleep in it, but I remember thinking, because every time I see like a long movie, if it's like over 2.5 hours, my main concern is I'm sitting down and like halfway through the movie I have to pee.
Yeah,
that's my main concern.
That's why I've started going like right before like.
Yeah, I started doing that too, but like I was so concerned and I didn't even think about it through the entire movie because it was too much. Like there was so much more to think about in the movie, so I didn't have to pee at all.
I think I did get up at one point when we were watching it go. There was somewhere in the middle. But because I'd already seen it, I wasn't like that worried. I was like, I'm fine.
Yeah, but I thought as far as like the story goes, it's definitely a very good one. There's a lot of different elements in the story. I thought one of the more interesting parts was when we found out that Thomas Wayne was dirty.
Because that's not something they.
Yeah, that's not something that anybody actually does. Because that's like saying, I think I said in the last video that we tried to make, that's like saying Uncle Ben is dirty. You know, like that's like saying somebody that you look up to is like dirty. You know what I mean? That's like saying your hero is dirty.
Was he dirty? I didn't really think.
No,
because in Joker, Thomas Wayne was very dirty.
Yeah,
but like in this one, it felt like he was more misguided or made bad decisions.
No, yeah, he was trying to cover things up. I think because what was he trying to cover that like Martha had gone to like
yeah, she went to Arkham and
she was deemed.
Yeah, he was doing like bad things with good intentions.
Yeah, exactly.
While in Joker,
but he had people. He had people killed to cover up because a reporter dug up stuff about.
Well, no, he didn't have that.
No. He contacted. I think he talked to Falcone.
They said in the movie that he never. Andy Serkis, Alfred said he never wanted him to die.
No, he just.
No, they didn't have Thomas Wayne kill. I'm saying Thomas Wayne had people. Like he
talked. Thomas Wayne just said to like take care of him, like not kill him, but like interrogate him.
But then Falcone
went too far.
And that's what I was saying. He never had bad intentions.
Oh, okay.
He never had bad intentions. He was just trying to get him to like cover up the whole like Martha Wayne.
But I know that like, the reporter dug all that stuff up about the Arkham family.
Which, I'll say, the reporter's name, what was his name? Something Elliot?
Yeah, something Elliot.
That got me excited. I was like, oh, the Elliot family is in Gotham. They have ties to the Waynes.
I was going to say, isn't that...
That's Hush.
That's Hush.
Hush, yeah.
Oh, it's on. That's on. I think...
What's Hush's name?
I think what they'll do is Alright, this is my, like, fantasy sort of booking the sequels in the trilogy. They'll do the No Man's Land thing in Penguin. They'll get that out of the way.
Dr. Thomas Elliot.
Thomas Elliot, yeah. And then he should be around Batman's age by now. So I think in the sequel, Thomas Elliot will be going after Batman. By the end of the second movie, I think what he should do, and this is just fantasy booking, is have a plan to release all the inmates in Arkham. And then that way they can set up a third movie, or at least a second movie sort of final scene in Arkham Asylum with all of the villains out. And then Batman has to figure out how to like get them back in their cells. So that's just me fantasy booking both Hush and Arkham Asylum in the movies.
So I want to just touch on this real quick with the Riddler. So, his name is Edward Nygma. Mm-hmm. But they kept calling him Edward Nashton in the movie. And I just looked it up because I was curious why I thought, oh, did they change his name? But it says the Riddler or Edward Nygma. Later, Edward Nygma, but spelled differently. And Edward Nashton. So I think they must have changed his name a few times in the comics because each different series they probably were like this.
Well, when they...
That's why he was Enigma. When the
was...
Riddler first came out, he was Enigma.
Yeah.
But no, he had 2 fake IDs, though. I feel like both... He had 2 IDs. I feel like both of them were fake in the movie.
Yeah, and I think the reason that they were... And I didn't catch the actual names of both of them, but I think one of them was like Edward Nashton and the other one was like something Nigma.
Yeah.
So it
was Edward Nigma.
But
that's why, because Enigma,
yeah,
is like a mystery.
Yeah. So it should... I think his name is actually Enigma there.
There's an article that says why Matt Reeves' movie uses the Riddler's original name, which is Edward Nashton. Just an article. I'm not going to go through it now, but if you're interested, maybe we can just put a link to it in the somewhere.
Yeah, we'll see. We might put a link or something.
I'll send it to you either way, but you can do what you want with it.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, that's what I thought about the story. I thought it was interesting. Definitely more of a detective story than it is an action movie.
If I were to say one final thing about the story, I've mentioned this before about how I feel like the ending distracted from the rest of the movie. Like, I get why it's a Batman movie, they had to have a big explosion-y ending, but with how grounded and, like, detective-y this movie was, I was kind of really digging that. I was hoping they'd keep that throughout the whole movie. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I get they have to do something big to keep, because it's a Batman movie. It's 3 hours. You want to build something up for 3 hours,
Yeah. I feel you. Yeah. Any final thoughts on the story or anything about Batman?
Batman gets... If I saw this as a child... I would have still given it two thumbs up. 2 thumbs up from little Chris.
Sure.
And big Chris gives it 2 thumbs up.
If I saw this as a child, I'd probably be crying.
It's probably... I'm surprised, honestly, that they didn't do it... Because it's PG-13, right?
And it definitely deserves that PG-13 rating.
I'm surprised. I would have been interested to see what they would have done if they gave it an R rating.
It was as close to a rated R.
That's what I'm saying. I think it was like right on that line. Yeah, I think if they had like one more death in the movie, it probably been like R.
I don't think Batman needs to be R rated. I like that they pushed PG-13 as much as they could, because nowadays like they give PG-13 to everything.
Yeah, I mean, like, what else could they have done to make it R?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm kind of interested to know if at one point they're like they wanted to make it R, but then the studio was like, well then. It's going to be harder to get this movie for other people to see this movie because, kids can't see it without parents, and some parents probably aren't that interested.
Yeah.
Well, they probably had a scene where Batman can keep my father's name out of your effing mouth.
Keep my dad's name out your...
But that got cut.
Yeah.
And that's why it's PG-13, not R.
Exactly. All right. So that's about the time that we allotted for the Batman.
How long was
should
that?
we move on? About 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Was it really? It went by like...
Yeah, it's 9:10. We started at 8:30. Should we move on to the one that I have the most to say about?
I think I also have about the same.
I probably have the least to say about.
I don't know if I have the same, the most, or more. I will see. I guess. Well, let's talk about it and we'll figure that out.
I have like...
Place your bets now.
I have 2 lines of likes and I have like 20 for dislikes.
Yeah, I saw that.
What went wrong,
I think I added like for what went wrong. I added one thing.
Yeah. Morbius was a tragedy.
Oh God, it was so stupid.
It was terrible. I think Drew. What do you think about the movie, Drew?
I didn't like it, but I feel like I liked it the most out of the two.
I liked it not because it was good, because it was so stupid.
Listen. The only thing I liked about that movie was Matt Smith, because I'm a Matt Smith.
And also, to be fair though, real quick, it wasn't the worst thing I've seen. I've seen worse things, but this was around there.
This was definitely around there. Matt Smith was definitely the only decent part about the movie, but I think he definitely deserved better. Because I'm all for seeing Matt Smith in more like movies rather than TV shows, but this was not the role.
That was
not it.
This
was not the movie. Like he tried his best to be a good
guy. He gave it like 110%.
He did, but he just wasn't given.
I said Matt.
See, these are the kind of roles I want to see Matt Smith in. Just these completely all out goofy villainous roles. I think he does great with that.
Yeah,
he broke out into dance more than not once, at least twice that I remember of.
I thought that was going to be a goofy part, but I liked it.
Yeah, well, in the context, it makes sense. I mean, he could barely walk to begin with, and now he has the strength enough to walk. I mean,
exactly.
He could do something he couldn't do before dance.
He beats up like Michael Morbius, and then he's in the subway, and then he just does this like, oh yeah, spoiler alert, that movie just came out.
It's okay. I'll add a spoiler alert between them. I'll say spoiler, guys. Don't
listen to Chris.
Yeah, don't listen to Chris. He's no.
No, he beats up Michael in the subway. like an hour into the movie or whatever it was when and he just
that was a really weird scene.
Yeah, they kept doing it when Matt Smith would run in slow motion towards Morbius, and then when and I don't know if we're doing swearing in this, but I said to myself, what is this?
It's not even that the slow motion was just so long.
And
if it was just a few seconds, but they kept like there's a scene where it cuts him running, they would cut to Morbius' face, they cut to him running again, they cut back to Morbius' face.
Are you talking about in the end with the bats?
And in the beginning with the subway scene.
Yeah.
And I thought it was stupid. And when they first got to the subway, I was like, why are you foot chasing this guy when you know you can teleport straight behind him? Why you
can use the airwaves. You can use the airwaves to.
He had the echolocation. He should be able to know where Morbius is at all times. And he couldn't figure out where he was. And same with Morbius.
It seemed like Morbius knew how to use his powers more than than Matt Smith did.
Yeah, it was dumb. I can go through like all of my.
That's one of the things I was talking about because I said the slow motion. I was about to say it looked really weird, like he was running and there was this like weird like ripple effect behind him.
Yeah,
and I put in. That's one of the things I put in is that the visual effects were not good.
Yeah,
I didn't think they were terrible. The visual effects. I thought they were fine for a film. I mean, they weren't distractingly bad. They were there.
It wasn't distractingly bad. I just they weren't good. I've seen worse visual effects.
Yeah,
I've seen the trailer for Tommy Wiseau's Shark movie.
Free Guy could be nominated for best visual effects. I think Morbius has a chance.
Listen, Free Guy was a better movie.
I'm not saying it's not better. I'm saying the visual effects are probably on par with Free Guy.
Yeah,
I just kicked someone up on the table by accident.
So there were some things like specifically that I didn't like. Like I'll go through some scenes here. Like the beginning scene where he fixes the kid's machine with a pen. That was dumb. Like how are you telling me that all of these like really smart doctors created this machine and it malfunctions and he fixes it with a pen and now he's going to Harvard? Like that? No. Well, I mean, what is the most he's going to do with his pen besides like get an electrical current from here?
I wanted that. What's his name? His like mentor doctor guy, whatever the hell his name was, to be like, that was my favorite pen, you little ass.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think the pen scene was too far fetched. I mean, because it looked like a spring had broken, and he knew there was a spring in the pen, and then yada yada yada. He fixed it. Yeah. I think that him fix it to go to Harvard immediately was too much though.
That's what I forgot. That's what he said to him. He's
that would have been like
you can go to Harvard.
Exactly. Like that would have been like a hint. Hey, you're smart. Not like hey, go to Harvard now.
Like hey, keep on doing what you're doing. And maybe in a few years, and then even if they let him go to Harvard early, I would have been fine. But it's like nope, you're going to Harvard tomorrow.
Yeah,
tomorrow. Go to Harvard.
This kid is dying in his bed. Where are all the nurses? Where's
literally there was like no staff there.
Seeing them. Where are the other kids?
Well, the other kids were outside the window making fun of them.
Those bullies were.
Yeah, those bullies were dumb too.
They were the most stereotypical bullies you could ever have. Exactly. No reason to bully the kid.
The kid smacked him with a crutch.
Oh yeah, Milo smacked him with a crutch. He just fell to the floor like a little girl.
Well, all right. You said that, not me.
What?
I don't know.
What are you talking about, dude? Another scene I thought was the intro to Morbius where they were on the boat. That could have been.
Oh, the whole when he turns into.
Yeah. What I wrote in my notes was like, it should have been more suspenseful. It should have been more like the. I wrote it should have been more like the Doc Ock scene from Spider-Man 2, where he's in the hospital. You don't really see him. You can see his arms flying.
Oh,
like they should. And
he's still laying on the table, and his arms are.
Yeah, it's something like that. Like they shouldn't have shown his face yet. They should have just shown like a figure destroying people, and then Morbius wakes up and he's like, "What was that?"
I feel like they started to do that, and then they stopped doing that.
Yeah, I thought the reveal of him being on the ceiling was kind of cheesy. I was like,
or like that when she turned around and he wasn't on the chair anymore.
Yeah. And that's when I thought they were going to do something like that, where it was just kind of this figure destroying people.
But then they saw him on the ceiling, and they're just like, and she's like, "Don't shoot!" And they started shooting.
Well, I mean, his face is all over the posters. Yeah. I mean, there's not much to hide.
I know, but like, I think as far as like the movie goes, they could have been more suspenseful with his look.
Yeah.
Let me see what other scene. Snuffing the award. I thought was stupid.
Snuffing.
Yeah, something they could have shown rather than told us was.
Yeah, that would have been much better to see.
Yeah, rather than him.
What do you mean?
Like when he rejected the award.
Yeah, from the Prince of Sweden or whoever it was.
Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah.
It'd have been more impactful if they showed him actually rejecting the award.
Yeah, I thought they were going to show it to him because they're like, "Come on up," and he got up, and then it just cut to the next scene.
Yeah. What were you saying?
I mean, I was just going to say what he said. Yeah, I mean, they could have just added an extra 5 seconds. He goes, "I cannot accept this." Then cut to the next scene.
Yeah, exactly.
They made it sound like he made some kind of like rude like remark or made fun of someone there, but they're like, you could have been nice, or like you could have like.
Yeah. And then going kind of back to the boat, so like all those people were just a bunch of thugs, and I don't know if this is like a Sony decision or a Marvel decision, but I mean they don't want these villain characters to be villainous, you know, like with Venom, like Venom ends up being a good person in Venom, and then Morbius, you know, he doesn't really kill any good people, he only kills people who deserve it, like these thugs.
But I think that's where they're going with Morbius.
Yeah, it's saying he kills the people with the thugs who deserve it.
Because even in the comics, he's like an anti-hero.
Yeah, which I mean, make Morbius like kill innocent people. I mean, that would be a much cooler concept. That's why I connected more with Matt Smith, because he was just killing people. I'm like, make the movie about Matt Smith. He's having a good time with this.
That hospital scene when that nurse is in the hallway.
I laughed.
Yeah, I did too. When you see, because you're supposed to think it's Morbius, but it's Milo.
Yeah.
When the lights are like flickering and you see this like you see the figure on the ground like crawling really fast, and you're just
maybe I should just walk faster. Like
no, but you see that, and in the way they edit in that figure crawling, like it just looked.
Yeah, the way it crawled was hilarious.
It was it was like fast and he was like doing this like weird, and me and Drew just looked at each other and laughed.
Yeah, and why are all these lights flickering? They don't have electricity.
Well, she like ran up against the wall and she like turned it on. She went, oh.
Yeah, but why are they flickering in the first place?
Because they need it for the plots.
Yeah, they need it.
Because it's a hospital. They didn't pay their bill.
Excuse me.
There's too many sick people.
Yeah. Sorry, excuse me, just a second.
They spent all their budget on
They spent all their budget on
They spent all their budget on Morbius, and then he denies them one Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
Jared Leto, you know he's a method actor, right?
Yeah. Oh, I thought somebody was knocking over there.
No.
Hello? Come in. Kevin, drink your milkshake.
Dude, my milkshake is gone, man. It's all foam and...
Drink your foam.
No, I'm not going to drink my foam. That's weird, man.
But, yes. What was it? So, yeah, Jared... I almost called him Jared Morbius. Jared Morbius. Are you done?
Yes, continue.
Jared... Sorry, that was me. Jared Leto's a method actor. And so I read an article today that said that it was confirmed that Jared Leto would take 45-minute bathroom breaks on set because he would use his crutches that he was supposed to use in the movie. And so then he did it so often, and they talked to him, and they're like, listen, we need to shoot. You need to be quicker. So they finally talked him into, he's like, fine, I'll use a wheelchair instead. So it was a little quicker, but I'm like, Jesus Christ, go to the bathroom like a normal person.
Yeah, Jared Leto. Well, don't say
that. Hold on. I'm not saying that people that have to use crutches aren't annoying.
Sure.
This is the second time you guys.
Yeah, this is the second time. And you called me out of something earlier, and I don't think it was stupid. So I'm calling you out on this now.
I don't remember what I called you out on. I was probably stupid because I'm stupid.
But yeah, anyways, I thought, there was a lot wrong. Another scene I want to talk about.
Keep my name out your...
Another scene I want to talk about was the end credit scene.
Oh my god.
Chris is very animated about this.
Chris is very passionate about this.
Stupid.
I was confused because I thought after they fixed everything, they were supposed to be in their own universes. Why is Adrian Toomes in this?
Why was he already in the MCU and then he went to this one?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. And if he just showed up, I understand getting him out of prison, but I'm assuming that's like a process getting him out of prison. Why was it only a day or two and he was just...
Well, I'm sure it was more than a day or two. It wasn't in the same scene. It was like cut into two credit scenes.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But like in Spider-Man, he got that done in like, what, a day, maybe two? He got everything back to normal. Like, there definitely wasn't enough time for Adrian Toomes to get out of prison, find his old suit, like, figure out where Morbius was, and then form the Sinister.
I feel like it was months later.
That's what I think.
I just think there wasn't enough time for him to do all that. Like, it was just a day or two. Unless it's, like, after Doctor Strange.
Well,
And something crazy happens in Doctor Strange.
Morbius was supposed to come out before Spider-Man. So, like, was this end credit scene added after? Like, a last-minute thing?
I think so. Because originally in the trailers, they had Michael Keaton as somebody else.
Well, they also had that, like, mural of Spider-Man and it says murderer across it. They had that in the trailer, and the director of this movie said, I don't know why that's in there. He literally came out and said, I don't know why that's in the trailer, because it wasn't in the movie.
Well, he knows. He just can't say.
Yeah. They probably had Michael Keaton in the movie as somebody else, and then
he shows him in the trailer.
And then they realized he's going to be part of the MCU. So they were like, what's a better way to do that than to bring him into the Sinister Six? But they just did it completely wrong.
And Morbius isn't even part of the Sinister Six.
Yeah.
And that would mean they'd have to bring Michael Mando's Scorpion over, too.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't make sense with the timeline of Spider-Man. And if it is something that's going on with Doctor Strange, why would you waste like something like that in Morbius when you can explain it in Doctor Strange?
Is he gonna break the multiverse again?
Well, it's the multiverse of madness, Chris.
Yeah, I know, but like, is he gonna bring everyone back over again?
Maybe.
Well, no, who knows, man.
But with the end credit scene, though, like, the more I'm thinking about it, maybe it was intended to be an end credit scene to begin with, because like this isn't the first time where a Sony movie this year put the end credit scene in a trailer.
Yeah, it's
like Uncharted.
Uncharted, yeah.
They put the end credit scene in the trailer.
Did they?
Yeah,
the
the one
with the
where
mustache.
Sully has a mustache.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
They put that in the trailer.
Although, we don't need to talk about that. I kind of feel it's fine. Whatever.
Sure.
Clearly, from my
but
yes.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know what they were doing. I don't know what their intention was. The second end credit scene definitely seemed like a last minute thought, because you have Jared Leto awkwardly standing there just saying yeah or no, without like as if it's like just extra footage they use. You're like, okay, get some extra footage, and then Michael Keaton's character is obviously voiceovered from like,
exactly. Yeah, and I think
it's what do they call it? AD, additional dialogue, or ADR, additional dialogue recording.
Yeah.
So you go into a booth and just.
Yeah, they probably just make him do other lines just in case they need them. A few other things I thought were dumb, or were like, where were all the cops? Where were the rest of the police? You have two detectives. You have two vampires running through the city, and you have two detectives and a bunch of beat cops.
They were shooting in a hospital in that scene, and I said, well, I guess they're in the right place for that, though.
Exactly. Where's the FBI, at least? I know there might not be S.H.I.E.L.D. in this.
Where's Spider-Man?
Exactly. Where's Spider-Man? Where's
Iron Man?
Anybody else? Where's Venom?
Iron Man?
Iron Man? Well, this isn't that universe.
Also, he's dead, so...
Exactly.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Endgame for the last 3 years. Like, where was everybody? I mean, I'm rooting for Tyrese Gibson as much as the next guy, but like... Tyrese Gibson, he was one of the cops?
Yeah.
But the other cop was funny. He was one of...
Was he the one that was like, I brought holy water?
Yeah, he was the one he was a good part of the movie. Him and Matt Smith were the only two really good parts of the movie. But like, where is everybody else? Why is it only these two people? And if Morbius is showing himself to you inside a prison, why is nobody more concerned that there's two vampires in the city?
Yeah, everyone took the whole vampire thing very well.
Yeah, like it was.
Like, vampires were like, oh my god.
When he's chasing Milo and they're going to a subway and they're like running around people and people are just like looking up and they're and you hear screaming but they're not, they're just looking.
Yeah, exactly.
Another thing you hear but you don't see, there were scenes where he would like go and slash at people and you would hear like the blood spurting, but then there'd be no blood.
Well, they wanted to keep it PG-13.
Yeah, but why put the blood sounds in if you're not gonna if it's not obviously not there?
Well, I mean, they just didn't want to they probably wanted to keep their PG-13.
It would be more awkward if it was silent,
Yeah, exactly. If
you could just go
and the guy's going, oh.
That was some sort of
ow!
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. What I meant more with the other one was
he just goes, ow, dude, what the hell?
Yeah, what I meant more with the other one is like when you're making a film, showing something is a lot more important than just telling us it.
Yeah. Like
if you're showing us that he snuffed the award and he doesn't really care about the award, then we think he's more of a smart ass than he is. If he's just telling somebody else about him snuffing the award. And you had everything set up already. You had him on stage. It's not like you had to save the budget and not shoot the scene. You had everything on stage already. Just put a camera there, then show him saying, no, I'm not taking it. Yeah. That's all you had to do.
Or they could just cut out the scene entirely and they'd be like, hey, I heard about your whole thing at the
Yeah.
Nobel Prize. They could have just cut that whole scene out entirely.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that scene added nothing to the movie.
Yeah.
No,
I thought it was
weak. They probably shot stuff that they took out of the movie that was probably, if it were in the movie, would have made the movie better. But instead, they shoot these scenes that are meaningless, and they keep those in.
And there's too many scenes where it's just
there's too many of those scenes. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's too many scenes where people are just talking. Like they need more acting.
It's not moving anything forward. It's not. It's not adding anything to the story.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just exposition, pretty much too.
Exactly. Like the diner scene where they're sitting in the diner talking, and then he hears the guy. He goes and takes over their lab. Like that's.
Yeah, that was. What did he even do with the lab?
I don't know. He just kind of sat there.
Who took it over?
Morbius. Remember Morbius took over the lab? Did he do anything with that lab?
Drug lab?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he did anything with the lab. He just kind of made it his hideout.
He just made a joke and we never saw it again.
He picked up the blood bag, or the bag with the blood in it, and then he's just like, I need it.
What? No, that's his lab.
No. When he remember those, he went to the back of the ambulance truck and he put the synthetic blood in the bag.
We're not talking about that.
And then he followed those criminals into their secret lab.
Yeah, we're talking about when they're in the secret lab.
Yeah.
Yeah, but after that, there's nothing. There's
I know there's not.
They didn't do anything with the secret lab, right?
Yeah, no, there was just
also.
Hey, he has a secret lab. No, that's about it.
The whole scene where Milo goes into that bar or that club, and he's talking to that girl, and then the guys come up and confront him, and they're like, we're gonna give you 5 seconds to leave, and he's like, oh, that's kind of you. Here I was thinking you were a complete asshole.
Yeah.
I'm like, what was the point of?
I think that was sort of his transformation into this more confident guy.
Yeah,
honestly, able to go in.
I honestly like that scene because it was a character doing something.
Yeah, well, I liked him. I just don't understand why
Morbius just standing there.
I just don't understand
labs and not doing anything.
Why that seemed like a more important scene than some of the other supposedly important scenes in the movie.
Well, I think it was more
character development.
Yeah, I liked it though. I kind of liked that line too.
I mean, I didn't like that he didn't get a lab. He should have gotten a lab. If anybody deserved a lab, it was Milo, not Morbius.
Can we also talk about his girlfriend? His partner.
Yeah, she was. It was weird. They didn't hint at anything that she was gonna have a romantic relationship with.
No, but then they just kiss.
Yeah, and then they kiss.
This woman next to me, she was I heard her go, "Oh damn!" when they kissed, and that's why when they kiss, I don't know. I kind of laughed.
I laughed because that came out of nowhere.
Yeah. It was like the kiss at the end of the Rise of Skywalker.
Sure.
Except really,
brother and sister.
No, but it was really forced. That Kylo Ren right thing. It was really forced. And so they kiss, right? So she thinks she's dying, and they kiss. She's on the top of the building, and I was trying to figure out, because then she has blood in her mouth. I was trying to figure out if he bit himself to get blood in her mouth, or if she bit him.
I think she bit him. Because I don't think he would have actually bitten himself to give her the blood, or maybe she bit herself so that she can show him that she's not afraid for him to take her blood.
Right.
Or was it Milo the bitter?
No, they were kissing, and then remember the blood was drawn from his lip.
Oh no, I think I know what he's talking about, because it was Milo who brought her onto the roof, so maybe it was an injury from Milo attacking her.
But you didn't see the blood till after they kissed. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it was probably Jared Leto.
Yeah, it may have been Jared.
But then she, at the very last second, because he thinks she dies, and then they finish fighting, and it cuts to her, and her eyes just open.
Yeah.
And I went...
So how come she didn't find him? She has echolocation.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. And then, what was it? They never explained what the trap was in the beginning that he set up in front of the cave, the one he's, putting his hand out.
It was a trap.
Yeah, but how?
It was a trap. You don't.
That's a trap.
They don't explain it.
It was
he didn't
a trap.
have bats before. He has bats now.
That's all that matters.
That's the thing. The showing and telling.
Yeah.
She had a trap, and the trap worked. We saw the bats afterwards.
Exactly.
Where was Admiral Akbar?
What?
It's a trap.
Oh, it's a trap.
It's a trap. I don't remember what his voice sounded like. I haven't seen it in a long time.
What was that movie that they said then?
It's Star Wars. It's Star Wars. Admiral Akbar.
Oh yeah.
Episode 4, A New Hope.
Yeah, that trap scene though from Morbius, I thought it was gonna be much later in the movie, and that was
I did
first scene.
Yeah,
that's what I thought too. I thought it was gonna be.
I thought they were gonna build up to it because they made it seem like.
Yeah, and I didn't know that bats.
I thought that's how he was gonna turn into a vampire.
Yeah, I didn't know rats or bats.
Rats? They are kind of rats.
Yeah, but I didn't know they give you like abs. I thought they just kind of.
Yo, if that's the case, I'm gonna go have a bunch of bats.
Well, I mean, I didn't think spiders gave you rock hard abs. Look at Tobey Maguire, so I mean,
that's a good point.
Look at Batman. No.
Yeah, I didn't think bats gave you. Yeah, I mean, I thought the movie altogether was just too rushed.
Yeah, I was about to say, you mentioned it was rushed, right?
Yeah, it was way too rushed.
Who's going to buy it when it gets added to the Criterion Collection?
Yeah,
It's not.
I know it's not.
Big plot points were just too looked over and passed by. Like the scene where he was captured by the police and arrested. That's supposed to be a big scene where he's like they know he's Morbius now. He's going to prison. Like, why is it a 30-second chase scene? Why is it not like a multiple minute chase scene?
Sorry.
Or even he gets away and then they arrest him later.
This whole movie, I think, now that the more and more I think about it, it's just frustrating.
It is. It's a frustrating movie. I didn't like it very much.
And even though I'm saying I enjoyed it because of how stupid it was, it's still frustrating to me the more and more I think about it. But the last point was on this list is what is it going to mean for the future of the MCU and other Spider-Man films going forward.
Yeah.
And, we have the new Into the Spider-Verse coming out, so that's a Sony thing.
Yeah,
but they're going to different universes in it, so...
Yeah, but I don't think that's connected to anything, though. This is like live action versus animated.
That's true. But people have been saying things about how, maybe Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. Thank you. God, Jesus. We're going to be Into the Spider-Verse.
People were saying Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire were going to be in No Way Home, and look what happened.
Yeah, my point.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I was kidding.
Yeah, maybe they'll be in Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
People were talking about making an Amazing Spider-Man 3.
And Andrew Garfield said no matter what I say,
that's
people...
what I'm wondering the Sinister Six being built up for this movie.
It's possible.
Because they were supposed to do Sinister Six for Amazing Spider-Man 3 originally.
Mm-hmm.
And that got canceled after the poor reception for Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Well, that's what Andrew Garfield says. No matter what he says now, no one's going to believe him because he said he wasn't in No Way Home the whole time, and people are like, "Oh, maybe he's not," and then he was. Yeah,
I think although the timing is completely off with this movie, I think they're going to find a way to make Adrian Toomes and Morbius come back into the MCU, and they're going to have hopefully Venom come back in, and they're going to meet up with Scorpion, and they'll probably bring in a new villain.
I wanted them to use Michael Mando's Scorpion so bad, too. Because then they did the end credit scene in the first Spider-Man Tom Holland movie. Yeah. Also, where's Paul Giamatti's Rhino?
They're not coming back.
That dude's not coming back. God, I hope not.
I fought a Russian man in a Rhino suit.
The most he has left in him is probably a cameo. That's about it. I don't see him being in anything.
He didn't have that cameo, and was it one of the people in the sky at the end of No Way Home?
I think so, yeah.
He was. Craven was there, too.
Craven, I think something else was in there. I forget who else, but
they're doing a Madam Web thing.
Oh, I don't know what that is. What?
She's basically in the Spider-Man universe. She controlled all the different dimensions and everything.
Oh, they are bringing in, however, Ms. Marvel.
I saw that the show's coming out.
Yeah, the show's coming out. And she's gonna be in
the Fantastic Mr. Fox.
What?
I don't know. I was almost saying about the Fantastic Four, and
Fantastic Mr. Fox has nothing to do with Marvel.
No, I know. I almost said something about the Fantastic Four, and then I realized I forgot what I was going to say, and so I just went along. I just kept going.
Listeners should know that Chris's bedtime was about an hour ago.
Yeah, I already have my warm milk, and
yeah. So let's wrap this up.
Yeah, I've already been burped and everything.
Yeah. I know we didn't do this for Batman, but out of 5 stars, with half star being the lowest, 5 stars being the highest, how would you rate this movie?
Give it 1 star just because Matt Smith was in
it. You, Chris?
I'm honestly probably 1 star, maybe 1.5.
I'd give it 2.
Yeah,
it was.
I don't know, somewhere.
I didn't like it.
Something between 1 and 2.
It was short, so that gives that.
Honestly, that was a plus. I wasn't sitting there going, "When will this end?" I was like, "Oh." Okay.
Matt Smith was great.
Yeah,
and even Jared Leto wasn't bad. I kind of liked Jared Leto. I kind of bought him as Morbius.
Honestly, I don't think Jared Leto's a bad actor. He
plays Jared Leto too often.
Yeah,
our friend Joe doesn't like him though.
Joe hates
Joe with a passion.
Yeah, maybe Joe will be on one of our podcasts soon.
And he can rant about how much he hates Jared Leto.
Jared Leto experience.
Yeah,
I almost said Jay Leno.
Jay Leno.
Hey, how's it going?
I don't know if it's too late, but for Batman, what would you guys give Batman?
Oh, I'd give Batman a good, like...
Out of how many, though? What's the max?
5.
I'd say 4.5. Just because there was so much in that movie that they probably needed to spread a little bit more out into the sequels.
I think...
but I'd give it like a 4.5.
I think I gave it on Letterboxd a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I'd give it a 5 out of 5.
I think that's what I gave it on Letterboxd. I haven't even put Morbius on Letterboxd. I just don't care right now.
I know.
Yeah.
I keep waiting for your review.
I'm not giving you...
My review, I need to find it. I need to start writing reviews on Letterboxd. I haven't really...
We can put... If you do, we can link our Letterboxes.
Yeah, I don't want to say that we're sponsored by Letterboxd.
We're not.
To
be clear, Letterboxd don't sue us.
Yeah, Letterboxd don't sue us. We are not...
We
are
love
not
your...
paid. This is not a paid endorsement. This is just an app that we like to use.
We like your work. That's it.
Yeah,
we're not telling people to go to you.
Yeah, we're not telling people to go to you.
But we're also not telling people not to go to you.
We wouldn't be opposed to it.
Yeah.
But we're also not telling people to not go to you.
Exactly.
Don't go to them to tell.
Also, one last thing I want to talk about with Morbius was the final fight scene with Milo. Was it just me, or did it seem like everything was just kind of like a big blurry crash when they were like fighting against the building?
That's all it was.
Yeah,
and then all the bats.
The action was terrible.
Yeah, I didn't know where they were. I was like, "What's going on here? Are they on a building? Are they underground? What's going on here?" It was just confusing to keep track of. Yeah, that's the last thing I'll say about Morbius. I'll give it like a 1 star out of 5. Morbius wasn't good, but Batman was great. But yeah, those are our our reviews on those 2 movies. We got one really good one really bad one for our first review, and I think it was a good success.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I do think it will, and I think we're gonna try to do Everything Everywhere All at Once next, maybe.
Yeah, April's kind of a big month for releases.
Everything Everywhere.
Everything Everywhere. Father Stu comes out this month.
Oh yeah.
Sonic 2, the Nick Cage movie.
Oh god.
The Northman I want to go see.
Yeah.
So a lot of movies coming out. We're definitely gonna make reviews on most of them.
When's that Elvis movie come out?
I think that's in May or June.
I'm not too excited for that one.
Yeah,
I'm not like, it's something I really want to do. I'm just like,
yeah,
I'm gonna see reviews for it. I probably won't see it in theaters. Yeah.
And then further down, of course, we have like Doctor Strange 2. We have we have Men coming out. We have just a lot of different movies coming out that we want to go see, and we're probably gonna make reviews on most of them. So stay tuned. Keep an eye on the channel. We will send out or not send out. We'll.
I tried to stifle it by keeping my hands over it, but it still came out.
Chris is gassy right now. Yeah, we're gonna try to pump out these reviews as fast as we can. Keep in mind there are only 3 of us, and only 2 of us will be editing.
I don't have a computer that can edit right now, and I also don't really know how to. So I'm gonna try to figure it out once I can, and once I can afford editing software.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
so me and Drew.
Yeah, but I want to, be able to do the same quality that you guys are doing if I can.
You can.
It does definitely take practice.
Especially if it's just audio.
Oh yeah, that's true. If it's just audio, I've edited audio before.
Yeah, it is pretty easy with audio. The only thing with like YouTube is we're gonna try to put like a video, or not a video, but like a slideshow sort of thing where it's like.
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to choose it.
But yeah, let us know what you think in the comments. Definitely like, share, and subscribe. Let us know what movies you want us to review next. And we will see you in the next one.
Yeah, we'll see you later.
Yeah, see you guys.
Later.